Okay, we are back in from the recess. We have the chairwoman of the council, Amanda Blas, and if there's anyone else from GACS that would like to come forward, please feel free to do so at this time. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't hear. Okay. All right, we'll get started. First of all, thank you for being here today. We want to discuss some of the council's decisions that were made in renewing the charter for Guam Academy Charter School, and perhaps some of the challenges that the council has been undergoing in reference to meeting quorum. And so, do you have anything prepared, Councilwoman? We've been in contact through email and so forth, so is there anything that you'd like to discuss before we just go right into the questions? Or we just go right into the questions? All right. Okay, so what are the issues that the council has had meeting quorum? Can you give the people of Guam the exact dates?
Okay, so in general, this isn't an issue that just came with the council when I came in. Even previously with Ms. Rosa Palomo, I came in officially on August 2017, and along with 3 other individuals that made us reach quorum. We had 6 members at the most, and those members included myself, Yuko Guma, Enki Toves, who is no longer with us, his term expired, of course the superintendent, and then Selba Bauta and Dr. Walter. So the strongest the council has ever been during my term is 6 members. Okay. Prior to myself being appointed and Yuko Guma being appointed, as well as Selba Bauta, I know there was a period of inactivity for the council because of lack of quorum. It's been fairly hard to recruit individuals for quite some time, and at this point we only have 5 members, which is a bare minimum for a quorum. Just for some knowledge, I'm sure you've seen the emails. Selba Bauta is not on island right now, so we're unable to meet a quorum because we need him to make the 5. And one of our other members as well has just arrived back on Guam in this week. So it's just been a constant challenge of being able to meet.
Can you explain to the people of Guam how the council is formed, how the members are appointed?
Sure. So the council is formed by the Guam Charter School Act. It is appointed by the governor. The only person who is specifically named that has to be a part of the council would be the superintendent. In addition to the superintendent, there are 3 general population members, myself being one of them, 2 representatives of financial background, 1 retired administrator, and 1 retired teacher.
So you said that since your term, the strongest the council has been was a number of
6 during my time.
Okay, and so how many times have you not met quorum?
In 2018, we did have at least 1 meeting that was called where we had 4 members come, so there's 1. Numerous times since the start of the year, and late last year we've tried as well to meet quorum as well, but we've been unable to.
Okay, thank you. So. And what has the council done in trying to acquire more council members?
We have tried to recruit. We have asked members of the community. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest, at least in my experience, and it may be different from the other council members, is recruiting a retired teacher. A lot of the times when we look at retired teachers, they're unwilling to come on board because of the unique curriculum that each charter school provides, and they're not familiar with it. In general, too, we face the same issues with recruiting that other councils and commissions have. Many individuals are not willing to come forward for confirmation hearing, and I'm sure it's been the same case for Ms. Rosa Palomo when she was chairwoman prior to me in 2017.
You mentioned earlier that the governor appoints
Yes.
the members. Have you reached out to the governor to ask her to appoint members?
I haven't at this time. I will. The last time I reached out...
Say that again.
I have not at this time. The last time I did reach out was, though, to request that all documents that the Charter School Council has be moved to Adelup. Currently, we don't have any administrative support and any housing for our documents, so I requested that they take our documents. In the law, it does say the teacher certification would be administrative support, so I have reached out to them as well. I know they did have a meeting Monday. I haven't had a chance to follow up yet if they've reached a conclusion.
If you have an issue meeting quorum since your term, why the delay in requesting that the governor name appointees for the council? Why haven't you done it yet?
I don't have an answer for that. But I do want to note that you can ask the charter schools that I have been very proactive in reaching out to them, regardless of having an issue with quorum. We've had work sessions in place. Of course, we can't make decisions, but the Charter School Council is definitely doing the best it can, regardless of not having quorum or being limited in resources.
Yes, but if you don't have quorum, you cannot vote on major decisions, no? So, I mean, I'm not here to beat you up, okay? I know this is a public service that you do, and so, I want to thank you, but I'm kind of at a loss to know that you haven't reached out when you know that some of the challenges you have is due to lack of quorum, and now we have a school on the balance, whether their 6 to 12 is even going to be funded for because of the lack of accreditation. So I'm just wondering, which is the council who gave them a renewal authorization. So we need to do something to help them. So I don't know. I don't understand. Is there some kind of roadblock that you're having that perhaps we can help with? Is there anything that you need assistance with?
Definitely, administrative support. Usually we would ask our administrative support to help us. I can definitely write a letter to the legal team requesting for appointments, and and maybe, I don't know how other councils do it, possibly that their administrative or their chairperson does it, but I can reach out. But there's so many other things I do want to make clear that we have to take care of in addition to the quorum. So yes, I've actually asked people if they want to be on the council. And full disclosure, because I have a full-time job that does not allow me as much free time, I have actually been holding my resignation since I first let the charter schools know in January that I did plan to resign.
We don't want you to resign.
At this point, I've spent this is my second Wednesday here. It's very time consuming. We don't have administrative support. It's very on my part.
But isn't the teacher certification office supposed to?
And I did mention I did reach out to them. They had a meeting Monday, but I just have not had time to follow up at this point with the office regarding what their decision is when it comes to providing administrative support.
Is there a way we can arrange for a full-time person within the council?
That would mean the legislature would need to provide us funding. And we did submit a budget this year.
For the full-time individual?
For a full-time individual as well as office-based rental. I don't have those numbers on me, but I believe I CC'd you on that submittal of that budget.
All right. Okay, very good. My colleagues, do you have any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me. We went right into the meat of it all. I'd like to thank my co-chair in education, Senator Shelton, Senator Moylan, and Senator Marsh for being here today with us. I believe, Dr. Wonpat, you have a little presentation for us, perhaps a testimonial. Really, what's at stake? It clearly states the agenda is for the renewal and revocation, and also for the council minutes, but what's at stake here is the charter school's secondary level education system, so I think you have someone who would like to give a testimony.
Yes, and thank you very much. Just to add on to what Amanda said is that the Commission on Education Certification is supposed to work with them. However, they have not even appointed an executive director also, so they're in a rock and a hard place, both of them, so they won't be able to make any decisions. Before I would provide the information that you had asked from last Wednesday, I have a student here, our first actually graduate from From Guam Academy Charter School, we had our 2 graduates on the year of 2015, 2016. If I may, I'd like to now defer to the student to my right.
Half a day. My name is Jamelyn Zamora, first graduate 2016.
Half a day.
It came to having a recent call this week, and I was notified of the situation, or I'm guessing the claim of charter school becoming non-credited and not able to enter any college, universities, or community. And it wasn't really hard for me and some other fellow students that I know that I went to school with. It was pretty simple and easy, with the assistance of my mother supporting me and helping me getting into college. The only thing that was required of me to bring in was transcripts and other documents that admin and records requested in order for me to go to college. And those documents are pretty much FAFSA documents, such as getting our parents' tax information if we're still dependent under them, and along with transcripts, birth certificates, identifications, pretty much just general documentations to register as a student. And with the FAFSA program, it is a depending on the parents' tax information that the students use. I myself, I am under FAFSA and Pell Grant at the moment, and I've been on that for already going on 3 years. I am currently a sophomore heading into my junior year with my credits.
Thank you very much. So you're a sophomore now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have an idea what you want to major in?
I am majoring in business administration.
All right, very good. Okay, so I think Dr. Wanpat, the reason why you had this testimonial is to prove that even though GAC's secondary level is not accredited, that they are still able to avail to FAFSA and attend UOG. Okay, thank you.
So may I now? Okay, thank you very much. I wanted to also, aside from Jamelyn, which were only 2 graduates on the first year, on the second year, with 10 graduates, all of them, however, are 7 out of the 10 are gainfully employed. And then the third year with 30 graduates, and we have 6 currently at UOG, 3 at GCC, 1 at NOVA, which is Northern Virginia Community College, of course, in Virginia, 1 in the Trades Academy, 6 in the military, and they all passed the ASVAB, and the rest are 13 employed and 1 in the Trades Academy. So, normally when you think about this with schools, the hope always is that you want them to be gainfully employed. You want them to pursue, of course, a career path, an academic career path. And then, the other would be, in this case, the military. So it's a very, when you really look at our numbers, we have 30 that we can account for out of the total 42 students, and the ones who are off island we weren't able to reach. So that's the numbers that we have. I've also provided, because you said you really wanted something concrete, so I went online for federal student assistance and provided you with a document, and where it says that a person, you were referring to a regular student, so a person must be enrolled as a regular student in an eligible program. So that document I have for you is a regular student is someone who is enrolled or accepted for enrollment in an eligible institution for the purpose of obtaining a degree from a university or a certificate by the college. And in that same document online, it spoke to where it says diplomas from unaccredited high schools can be valid and qualify students to receive federal financial aid, as well as to meet college admission standards. I also reached out to GCC and UOG. Dr. Okada said she'll be sending a letter to you, and I do have a letter that I've given you, and if I may read this, and it says here, this is from UOG. I'm writing in regard to an inquiry about high school students who do not graduate from an accredited high school and whether they can receive federal financial aid, which is Title IV, specifically high school graduates from the Guam Academy Charter School. In answering your question, I will first cite the relevant policies regarding students who may be eligible to receive federal aid. So in reviewing the Federal Student Handbook, which is available online, the academic qualifications is to receive the FSA funds. A student must be qualified to study at a post-secondary level. A student qualifies if he or she has a high school diploma. This can also be from a foreign school if it is equivalent to a high school diploma, has the recognized equivalent of a high school diploma such as a GED, has completed homeschooling at the secondary level, has completed secondary education in homeschool setting, has completed one of the ability to benefit alternative, and is either currently enrolled in an eligible career pathway program or first enrolled in an eligible post-secondary program. Further, the handbook states, with regards to diplomas from a non-accredited high school, and I quote, diplomas from unaccredited high schools, the same thing that I read to you, I'm sorry. But further on, regarding admissions to the University of Guam, the 2018-2019 University of Guam undergraduate catalog on page 47 states the following: admission of new freshman students. An applicant who has successfully completed high school or has passed the GED test with a cumulative score of 45 or higher will be considered for regular admission after submitting a complete application for admission and supporting documents by the application deadlines as indicated in the academic calendar. Official transcripts must be sent directly to the admissions office from the issuing institution indicating date of high school graduation or proof of successful completion of the GED. The University of Guam, based on the above, have accepted students from Guam Academy Charter School as regular students. Further, based on that determination, we have also concluded that students from this institution meet the requirements set forth by federal student aid to receive financial aid. While we are limited by FERPA in revealing specific student financial aid information, we can state that we have awarded federal financial aid to students from Guam Academy Charter School who have applied and have met all the other eligibility requirements. And this is from the Financial Aid's Office, Director Mark Duarte. So I've also provided that document for you. And lastly, if I may, and I'm sorry I didn't do it very early on, and I should have, is that I want to publicly apologize to you if you got the sense that I was downplaying the importance of accreditation, but I'm not. That wasn't the intent at all. So my apologies to you, to all of you.
No, I did not. I don't think any of us felt that you were downplaying.
No, but I read the op-ed that you said, and it vindicated that I was downplaying. If you read between the lines, that they consider it very important. I did say that very early on, that the two most important things throughout the accreditation process is student learning and school improvement, and we are definitely all working on those.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wanpat. Okay, I just have maybe two more questions, and perhaps we can move on, but we still need to continue discussions on the current status of the charter school and the the vendors that you need to pay and how we are going to address that, and what path are we going to go down after this last section of the oversight. So for the chairwoman, what was the deciding factor to renew Guam Academy Charter Schools charter? Were you there?
Of course I was there, but I'm not sure I'm the most appropriate one to ask. There were 3 members who voted in favor for the renewal, and those 3 members are not here today. That's Enki Tovis, who's no longer on the council, Salba Bauta, who's off island on medical, and Dr. Encito Walter, who replied to the message that he does have class tonight. So I wouldn't be the person to answer about that.
What about your perspective since
My
you were there?
perspective, though I did not vote, I did make it clear that the accreditation was a hindering issue. I did make it clear during the public hearings that we had, the work sessions we had with Guahan, that it wasn't an issue with the students, with the faculty, with the staff. The fact that the accreditation was at the point that it was extremely worrisome for me. That's my perspective on that. But like I mentioned, as for the deciding factors for those 3 members who did make the majority for the renewal of the application, you would have to ask those individuals directly.
Okay. When was the last time the council met and had quorum? What date?
Met would be the June 18th meeting. We have had some work sessions. In fact, we had them with the budget with each charter school.
2018? June
2018.
Was the accreditation, since you said that you've had some work sessions, was the accreditation of Guam Academy discussed?
During the work sessions, always, yes. Especially they did, if you looked at the June 14th meetings, one of the conditions that I had put forward as the chairwoman was that 2 of the members who did vote in favor of the renewal were to lead basically subcommittees to work directly with the schools on, one, the financial issues that were brought forward, and the second one would be the accreditation issue that were brought forward, and that was headed by Salba Bauta.
Is he still performing that?
He is currently off island for medical leave.
No, I understand he's off island, but there was an agreement that subcommittees were to be formed. Is
Yes.
he still moving forward with that, or do
At
we
this,
need to?
I do not have an update on their subcommittee. However, I have reached out to Ms. Manabusin and to Dr. Pat about the accreditation anytime I have received word of anything. I do want to be clear that when it comes to the accreditation officials, they do not contact the council directly. They contact the schools. The times that we did interact with the accreditation officials came at the invitation of the school. So both iLearn and Guam Academy Charter School had invited us to meet with the accreditation officials when they were on island.
Okay. Do you guys have any more?
Senator, may I add that
Yes, Dr.
at the time when they were considering the renewal, a letter was sent to the Attorney General's office to opine on whether they had the authority to renew the charter, and they did. And that came as a result, of course, of the Attorney General's office.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Dr. Wanpat. Do my colleagues have any questions? No? Okay, well, I'm not entirely satisfied with all the information that we received during the 2 oversight hearings that we've had, mostly because there is no certain path that we are going to take. So I think we need to continue to meet. I don't think we do need to continue to meet, and we need to discuss the challenges that the council has. The chairwoman is looking to resign, and if the council is at stake, really, that's who ensures that the charters are doing the right thing and renews your charters. So we need to address the issues perhaps with all the charter schools, and the movement forward to your plans to paying the vendors, some of the challenges in the law that prohibits you to be able to procure items and even do capital improvement projects. There are some concerns that the accreditation weighs heavily on your funding, and so we want to make sure. I have parents calling me up asking about your accreditation, and they want to send their child to Guam Academy, or they want to continue their enrollment to the secondary level. However, they're reluctant because of the situation that you face with the accreditation. So I want to thank all of you for your time today. There's still more things that we need to discuss. Perhaps we need to have some working meetings and bring everything that we have found solutions for to the table in a informational hearing. So at this time, please anticipate to meet in the upcoming weeks. We need to resolve this quickly before we push out the budget for the government.
Madam Chair, I just
long.
wanted to say on behalf of the Guam Academy Charter School that, we are very appreciative of the council's efforts, because I know that the Guam Academy Charter Council has been, they've been forthcoming in the renewal. You have to understand that we are the first charter school that has come up before the council for a charter renewal. And I noticed that in today's agenda, you also have the council on charter renewal and revocation. And I really wanted to say that there is a process, and the process also includes probation and revocation. And you're absolutely right, Madam Chair. Parents are asking us, what is the status, and shall we continue to enroll our students at Guam Academy Charter School? It should be clear that when you say that the school is in a balance because you may not be able to fund the 6 to the 12 because of the issue of accreditation, candidacy also is not accreditation. And you're going to have another school that's going to be coming up for a renewal, which is the second school. And so that also is going to be something that
Yes,
will compel
I
the governor.
understand that, Senator,
Yeah.
but the issue is that charter schools were formed to bring solutions and alternative education curriculums to the people of Guam.
Correct.
And if this is becoming a problem and it's hindering the education of the children and perhaps the accreditation, which it is, then it's something that we need to examine. But keep in mind that you're absolutely right. Candidacy is not accreditation, but at least you see forward progress. In this
That's
instance,
correct.
there's a backward progress, and so we need to address this on how we're going to fix it and move forward.
And we appreciate all these open dialogue and continue. And the reason why I'm here is that if you require any documentations, I think that we send you over the chronology for the accreditation and all the exhibits, but that was just a very brief chronology, and I have 100 more exhibits for the 5-year of growth in Guam Academy Charter School. And so we are an open book, and if all of you would just be specific in your request for what documents you're looking for, we are happy to make those available to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your reassurance for transparency. I have not had any issues with the charter schools in asking for information. You have been very forthcoming with it, so at least on my end, I can't speak for the public auditor, but I want to thank you. And we have exhausted the items on the schedule. We're still going to continue to meet. It is now 6:53 p.m. in the evening. Thank you and have a good night.